Juman juice. Think I've done her before.
If you ever think that your girlfriend is feisty or spicy, or she's like always angry and she's always so like tensed up, that's a sign that you need to baby her even more. It's because I'm like one of those girls, and the reason why we're so like on our feet all.
By this point, you should know better than to ever take what a girl says at face value, especially when it comes to talking about themselves. I'd argue that 99% of all people have no idea who they actually are. They live their lives in perpetual delusions and copes, so how can you really trust that what they say about themselves is true? Most of everything you hear is narrative based, and you should know by now if you've been on this channel for a while that most of these girls, when they talk, is through some form of narrative. If you get yourself caught in a trap where you're babying a girl who calls herself feisty, you're probably going to be in a lot of trouble. Be very, very careful to not enable horrible behavior. What she's attempting to do right now is no different than someone claiming their behavior is solely due to the fact that there's some sort of horoscope entity. Taurus, Scorpio, I'm a Leo. You get the point.
Time is because we're so used to protecting ourselves that like we're always like so ready to like fight it up.
AKA you're traumatized? Is that what you're trying to say?
Once a man comes into our life and takes that weight off our shoulders by like babying us and taking care of our problems and showing us that you can protect us yourselves and not us having to defend ourselves all the time, then she'll probably stop.
Also, don't ignore the passive-aggressive tone that she's interjecting in all of this. She was trying to subtly imply that most men don't do this. At least that's my read on it.
Into her feminine energy and become more girly and become more softened. Because I think a lot of the times people are like, why are you so tensed up? Why are you always so like, you know? But I think it was genuinely because I was so independent that I was like, I need to stand up for myself and I need to like defend for myself. But I swear, if you baby her, she's gonna feel so loved, and that's just a sign for you to like do that even more, and also to bring in that like masculine energy so she feels like more safe with you.
The dangerous thing about these types of women is they can flip-flop from team to team depending on what their incentive is. This is known as conditional femininity. As a man, of course, nothing should scare you more than conditional femininity. I will be feminine towards you if, and then insert some sort of arbitrary standard, instead of the more appropriate thing, which should be, I am feminine at all times. They always have an excuse to not be feminine. It's because I had to X, Y, Z, some sort of trauma potentially. Maybe it's not even real trauma, maybe it's cope for all we know, but there's always somehow an excuse for not being feminine. Of course, if you're man enough and willing to take up the challenge, maybe just for you, I will become feminine. Conditionally. And in that one moment when you slip up and you're not masculine as defined by my subjective standards, I'm also going to become masculine and probably cause you a lot of headaches. The truth is your standards just need to be way higher. She has to always be feminine in your presence regardless of what's going on. If she's not this way, she will be a liability to you long term. Eventually, she will begin to compete with you within the relationship, and this is when you start to know that it's over. Human relationships need a dom and a sub. This is just the way it is. Not an acting dom and a conditional sub. Whenever there's competition for authority, it leads to chaos and war. In the modern world, the feminine is always going to win in court. It does not matter if you as the man are objectively correct when it comes to your judgments. The feminine will always win because the overarching societal bandwagon is hyper-sympathetic to the feminine position. Essentially, the plebeians refuse to look 2 layers deep because they're so blinded by idealism. They're so attached to their Disney fantasy, of course, that they refuse to see reality for what it is. I've given you my fair warning. Be hyper-vigilant whenever you hear girls talking in this kind of manner. The last thing you want is a girl that's conditionally feminine. She'll be the sweetest girl you've ever met when things are going well. The moment things go poorly, even if it's temporary, she'll become the greatest headache you've ever had. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Don't forget to check my links in the description below.